be there.
Alrighty. Sorry about that. You know how this goes. But, yeah, we definitely reached 1 star. Unlocked a few more things. About to get some decorations. Maybe a decoration because I'm broke.
Because I've thought about that. I've thought about how, what if...
And I think I hit the thing to get tips. I hope I did.
There was like ancient life
I didn't.
on Mars. And like ancient beings. We're not talking about like little microbes or
anything like
life
rings,
intelligent beings. Like obviously
park decorations,
aliens and everything.
Bigger pockets. So now I can hold like more stuff also.
They lived on Mars, and then
even
though they're intelligent beings, they didn't always act in a way that was intelligent. You know what I mean? They didn't take care of themselves, each other, or their planet. And maybe they built out systems that didn't actually benefit all of them, just a few. And then it got to a point where they were not just unhappy with each other, they were unhappy with their planet, a planet that they basically ruined. It used to be dope, and now it's whatever it is now. And so then they worried that there was no way to reverse course. There was still time, but they were like, what are you gonna do? And so then they, over time, remember, this is ancient. Remember how long the universe has been around. They looked around and they were, in some ways, very intelligent. Maybe intelligent enough to find another place to live. And maybe they find a place, and maybe it's called Earth. And maybe they went to Earth and they, been on Earth for so long, they forgot where they came from. But being intelligent beings, they made all the same mistakes all over again. And so then there comes this day where they look around and not really happy with themselves or each other or their planet, and rather than hopefully not wrecking it or themselves, they're like, what if we went to Mars? Maybe there's something there. Because I do think that
they may like this. Hopefully.
I feel like that's as likely as finding life on Mars.
Don't talk so much.
That is.
They got bathrooms, they got chairs, they got showers, they got hot
dogs. A lack of belief in the idea that you can still build community, or the idea that people can still see each other as people. That's incredibly troubling and scary. I think that we rely now on communication that is more served to us than we seek out. We feel like we seek it out because we're discovering it in real time. In real time, you are discovering your For You page. In real time, you are discovering when you're scrolling, and you feel like because you're making the choice to scroll, that it's the choice what you see next, but it really isn't. And based on a bunch of things about you, we think we're shaping the algorithm, and it's a high likelihood it's the other way around. Because based on how you've built your habits, it's based on whether you get served contempt or compassion. And so then, when it's time for us to talk, we have a very different view of how people are in the world. Like all of social, all of this stuff, every platform, it's just a mirage. But when you're out in the desert by yourself, which it feels like a lot of people feel that way. A ton of people feel like they're out by themselves. Right? And you see this thing up ahead and you think you know what it is, and it turns out to be a mirage. It's very hard to convince anyone of that idea. And so that's what I watch more of than anything else.
Oh, y'all on the way.
It's just the
Don't
idea
worry
of
about
like, I know
nothing.
what's going on. I know what people are saying. I know how people think. And I've got a big picture of everything that's going on. It's like, I promise you have a snapshot. No person, no single person online is one thing. No idea is one shared belief by everyone. And once again, no matter what you do, even when you think you're gaming the system, even when you're like, but I log out sometimes, I guarantee you, you're being served a certain amount of contempt and a certain amount of compassion, and it's all driven to keep driving you. You want to know what people think, you want to know how people are, just talk to people. If you want community, you build it as best as possible. And you build it in any way that you can. Some of that will include being online. Some of that, I'm not talking about like talking to your friend in a DM. I'm talking about like the way we see each other is so important. And the way we see each other is being like molded and affected without people understanding that they didn't actually get to participate in some of this. You don't know what impact you have to anyone that's like outside of your sphere. It's why I do my best. I'm not perfect, but why I do my best to be, hopefully, the best version of myself all the time. It's people are only going to see a sliver. So if what they see is good, maybe they'll think the world's a little bit better. And if they see bad, they might think the world's a little worse. And it goes moment to moment. And no matter how much you try to put out, you can still get drowned out. But I know that when I see people, when I see anger, when I see hate, when I see love, when I see compassion, I know that I'm seeing all of it at one time. And then the real mix of it that's out there is different than what's in my phone. The same way you should put your keys and your wallet and your... The same way that you put everything in the phone and then you lose sight of what you're up to, you're lost. It's the same way that you cannot just trust that what you're seeing and what people are saying, and these people as well, these people, whoever these people are. Because that's the other thing about opinions online. It's the other thing about people online. We didn't vote for like a king or queen of online. Somehow any person saying anything is representative of everybody at any given point. That's not possible. I wish it was what was happening when it was like a smart person. But like, who knows? Like smart people usually don't keep you online because they're like, hey, you should live your life. It's very bad for business.
Necessary.
When people live their lives and when they meet people and when they talk to people and they have real conversations with people, when they really sit down with people and they get to know people, that's scary. It's scary for everybody who benefits from what you're like when you're just on your phone. You need to be very, very careful of how we look at other people, how we judge other people, because I'm telling you right now, this thing will run away
There's
from
so many people in here.
you. You will leave the house thinking the entire world is the devil without ever having checked with any other person. Do you know what I mean? I've gone outside and I've talked to people, and there are people, I'll tell you right now, there are people that scare me. There are people that walk around on trash day in New York and yawn. That's insane. I don't think it's crazy. That's terrifying. And I'm talking like summer trash day. Not today, Satan. No, I see that, and I'm not gonna lie. I cross the street. I treat them like they got a pit bull. I treat them like, you know, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I don't know. And sometimes you want to throw your hands up and just say it's it's worth it or anything. And I don't know. I just don't believe that. There are some things that happening in your response, what you put out into the world, it is coming back. It may not feel that way. And maybe, look, maybe you're a kid and you're impulsive and somebody makes you angry online, so you get real nasty with everybody all day, and you don't even think about, like, the ripple effect that thing has. But, like, people take, online obviously is not real, but people take real things off of it. You know? And I've talked about this before. I'm never stopped talking about it because I genuinely believe it from the bottom of my heart that the bravest thing you ever do. I remember I read this and it stuck with me. I hope it sticks with me for the entirety of my life. Because this thing, this is how people make money. This is how people control you. This is how people mess with your mind. This is how people turn you against other people. The bravest thing you will ever do in your entire life is accept that there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing intrinsically wrong with you. There's nothing that is like that needs to be bought to fix you. There's nothing that you need to. And that, look, that is not to say that everyone is a perfect person. I'm not saying people don't need to work on themselves. I'm saying that, like, you are not beyond the measure of like the love and care that a person should receive, right? And that the second scariest thing you'll ever do in your life, and like some people can't do it. Some people live and die. They get buried without ever doing it. The other scariest thing you'll ever do in your entire life, I promise you, is change your mind. And like, I don't think that I personally don't think we're in a place where we're too far gone. These two things can still happen. It takes a second for them to happen. It takes a moment for either one of them to happen. That there is nothing wrong with you. No, you're not perfect. You make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing unfixable, unlovable about you. And then there's a world that looks different from the world in your phone, or even the world from your experiences. But I promise you, changing your mind will not kill you. But this isn't the world. It's not even your world. It's just what you're being served. Keep you on the platform. But I think somewhere along the line we start to feel like it's a window instead of a TV. Do you know what I mean? It's not a window. There's no way to know what everybody thinks, and there is no like side to reality. So when you're watching something, and when you're watching people react to something, you're seeing a piece of it, but you have to remember what you're being served. Like that's what's happening. Different amounts of passion, contempt, depends on how you look, depends on where you go. It's worth seeing the full picture for yourself. I think to fail to do that is to start to fail in your this thing that we have is this incredible tool, but like tools are also weapons. The tool can protect you, and you can use it to hurt other people. Like if you thought a mountain lion was like walking around all the time and you just had a bat with you just in case, it's like not. But these things aren't tools, and it's very important to remember who's using the tool. We think it's us all the time, and I think that is a mistake to think that we use it. It doesn't work the other way around ever. I love you all, and I appreciate every single one of you. I don't want to see. I don't want to see people destroy themselves because they thought that they had a mirror, they thought that they had a window, and they just had a TV. So I appreciate every single one of y'all. I can't even describe it. I was so excited to come here and spend time with you, and that is definitely in spite of the mountain lion. So, Rochester, y'all been amazing. Thank you so much. I don't know. So, I just realized how white this room is. I mean, it's pop culture. You probably heard about it. I mean, I don't know if you're watching this whole Drake and Kendrick. My what a time to be alive. Alright, so Drake and Kendrick. They're rappers. I want to make sure everybody. Like I know you might bump Kendrick all the time. You might be a big Pepper Butterfly fan. You know, just check. So Drake and Kendrick's relationship actually goes back way further than people realize, because Drake brought Kendrick with him on tour when Kendrick was like just starting to pop, but Drake was already a big deal, right? And it seemed like they were cool. You see these old interviews, they're in pictures together, they have such nice things to say about each other, and then along the line something changed. Something happened. And we don't know what that thing is really, but they both started to kind of like go at each other in small ways. And some people take it all the way back to the Control verse. Kendrick did a verse in a song on, it was actually a Big Sean song. Big Sean is a rapper, sir. He's like, I just want it all. Speaks. A verse on Big Sean. But it blew up so much, it became Kendrick's verse. It became the Control verse. It was crazy. And in that verse, he went at everything. He called people out by name, you know? And he said, got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you. I'm trying to make sure that your fans don't even love me anymore. They love me so much. I'm coming for the crown. I'm coming for everything, right? And just about everybody thought that it was actually pretty dope. It was actually like, okay, hip-hop as a sport. Like hip-hop as, you know, a fun thing, a contest to see who's actually the best. And everybody calls themselves the best on every song. Eventually, someone has to be the best. You know, every rapper believes that they're the best, and they say so in their music. A lot like how one city will have several First Baptist churches. When you look around, you're like, one of y'all has to actually be first, right? This can't, I think y'all even all claim to be first. This is confusing. So releases the Control verse. Now, this is something, maybe this is where it started, to where a lot of people say it started, but maybe it was something else. But Drake seemed to take some sort of issue with the love that Kendrick was getting for that verse, with him being called out, even though he's someone that helped, you know, Kendrick out in the beginning. But even in interviews, Kendrick explained himself. He said, like, this is a contest to see who's the best. It's all love, right? But Drake has, I'm trying to be fair. Drake has a lot of feelings that you can tell because he has a lot of albums. And there are feelings on every one of those albums. And some people don't have several albums worth of feelings. Some people only have 4 or 5 albums worth of feelings, you know? And some people decide when to let it out, and he just lets it out on a pretty tight schedule, a pretty regimented schedule of release to let out all of his feelings. And And he said, it's like, I just didn't like it. It didn't feel sincere. I just didn't. So the things that I saw in there, it was all nice to me. Yeah. He said in his interview it was all love, it's just a conflict. And then from there they have like a weirdness, and then there's like little things. You can listen to certain songs where Drake seems to be like digging right at Kendrick, but in a way where you have to really look at it and wonder, right? Not saying his name. And Kendrick even does a little bit of the same. But even after a little bit of this had kicked off, they still worked together one or two more times, right? Because Drake was on Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick's album, and Kendrick was on Take Care. So there's still at least a professional relationship there to some degree, right? Fast forward a few years, and Drake's really big. And when I say really big, he's like what Bad Bunny is now, he was back then, like top in the world, right? Everybody wanted to be Drake. Everybody wanted to sing a little bit of Drake. He was #1 on Spotify. Every time he released, it was a big deal. And so some people, admittedly, were very jealous of Drake. You know, there were people who started to go at Drake a little bit. And Drake is a good writer. He may have writers that he works with. He may have... But he's also good. It's like when he's making music, everyone in the room is good. I'm trying to give him his I'm trying to be objective. Like, y'all are trying to lean me into Wayne's. But he's good. And so, you know, Meek Mill is a rapper. Sorry, Meek Mill. Because that one wasn't a name. I just want to make sure that at no point you don't think that this is like punctuation or anything, because the names are going to get weirder as I go, right? Meek Mill came at Drake, and Drake really, truly, even if you hate Drake destroyed Meek Mill. He destroyed Meek Mill so bad that Meek Mill had to go back to jail just to level out some of that street cred. Because if you remember, Meek Mill went back to jail for a while on like this weird aspect of probation that they even tried to get changed as a law. So then Meek Mill became this like face of changing incarceration and changing the criminal justice system, everything, because he had to do something else for a little while, because Drake really ate him up. All right. So more time passes, and there's still not much between Kendrick and Drake in this moment, right? And then Drake gets into it, and I want to be clear, because a lot of people sometimes feel bad for Drake in a way that I want to be clear. He does start a lot of this stuff. He does like have a little thing in a song that implies that your wife is unfaithful, and then when you come at him directly, he's like, what's with all the hate? I'm all love. It's like, no. The best way I can describe it is that Drake kind of fights like a cat. And some rappers fight like dogs. And so, you know, do a little paw and like, what's the issue? And so Drake went at Pusha T, which was a true mistake. This is the thing about people like Pusha T, right? You don't want to mess with anyone who's actually had a hard life. You know? Like, you know, Drake grew up in Canada, grew up with, like, it's just, this is my thing. A lot of people come at Drake for, you know, they come in at a way I don't like. They come at him in this, like, colorism way where it's like, you're not really black because you're half white. I don't roll with any of that. I just truly think, but you see what I'm talking about. I'm not. Y'all are trying to get me to do something I'm not doing. I'm just saying it's very hard for a rapper to seem hard, right? When they have not been through what other rappers have been through. Like, it's hard to go hard when everybody knows you had health care. Because I'm not saying saying there aren't hardened criminals in Canada. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that if somebody knows that anytime you were sick, you could call a doctor, it just takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails of like, I'll kill you. It's like, yeah, but if I hurt you, you go to a doctor immediately. Like, so anyway, Kendrick is still off doing his thing, releasing amazing music, but Drake gets into it with Pusha T, which was a mistake because he told Pusha T, he's like, I got more money than you, I got more women than you, I'm more famous than you'll ever be. And then Pusha T said, you have a son. He released the fact that Drake had a son, which people didn't know, on a track that's cover was Drake in blackface. Everything about what Pusha T did to Drake is why you don't get involved with people like Pusha T. You're like, you know, I probably felt bad for Drake. Drake was probably like John at the mouth and everything and didn't know he'd do research. You know, Drake is sitting there like, yes, I thought we were rhyming. I thought we were making music. What is this? So anyway, now Drake perceivably takes care of his son. And, you know, and so fast forward some more, and you would think that Drake had sort of learned his lesson of like, man, I shouldn't throw stones when I might have a lot of kids. And for his part, I will say this, for his part, every time somebody comes at Drake, he does come at them pretty hard, pretty heavy. And he does release music that his fans love, and there are a lot of his fans. I'm saying that's something that I thought about going into this thing. I was like, he always does really try to like give you something, but what he gives is twofold. Drake is usually trying to give you that sort of earworm, trying to give you that thing that takes you to a place beyond the beat. So now people will still play back to back and songs that were responses to beats he's had in the past, just as songs to enjoy, you know. And so this year, Drake and J. Cole started, you know, they started doing appearances together. Like J. Cole would pop up at Drake's concert. And J. Cole is also someone who I genuinely believe is one of the most talented, phenomenal, musically inclined artists that I've encountered. I really enjoy his music. I don't know him as a person, and I think he's amazing, right? So he is on a couple of Drake songs after they appeared together last year, and it made me listen to those songs. I was like, oh, J. Cole, okay. Because I really hadn't listened to Drake, in a long time. Because I only have a certain amount of feelings. I feel like I got pretty far. I feel like I listened to several albums, and then at a certain point, I was like, hope people think that's grown. Let's see. And anyway, they do a song together, and then they do a song called First Person Shooter. And in First Person Shooter, they're going back and forth about how great the era is and how great they are. And First Person Shooter is a fantastic song, right? And J. Cole in the song says, forgive me if I'm getting it wrong, but he says, you seem like we're the top. Hey, it's good. Top 2, 3, okay. And then he was like, is it Kendrick, is it Aubrey, or me? Because we're the big 3, like we started to lead. But right now I feel like it's time that I lead, right? And I guess Kendrick heard that and took it as a personal affront I would have felt that way. Like if two people were like, man, we're the best ever, and Josh is great too, and I wasn't even there, I would be like, oh, thanks.
You're really welcome to this water park.
But I'm not built like Kendrick.
Would you want to be here?
You know? And so then later we would also find out that apparently Drake tried to get Kendrick on that track. So he knew it was coming up and he didn't want any part of it. And then I guess he hated that he was mentioned. So then Metro Boomin and Future are rappers that, because that could have been a label name. I'm not making fun of you at all. I'm just making sure everybody is up to speed and you're right in front of me. That's all that's happening, right? So Metro Boomin and Future, they release this album, We Don't Trust You, and on it is a track called Like That. Now, Like That is where Kendrick does essentially the control effect on this song. Because the verse, it really made me forget it was a song. I don't know what anyone else said on the song, right? And on the song, he says, fuck the big three, it's just big me, right? Which is also, hey, I've always said I want to be the best. I've said it from day one. As soon as people started interviewing me, I said I want to be the best. As soon as people started listening to my music, I said I wanted to be the best. This is not out of character for me. This is the same thing I did 10 years ago, right? So, just for me, if I was one of them, if I was Drake and I heard fuck the big three, it's just big me, I also would take it as a personal affront. Because there were other things in the song where he came at Drake specifically. He didn't really have much for J. Cole. And yeah, it just it's sad. I was like, ooh, what are Drake and Cole going to do? And Cole was actually, I think, the first one to release. He released this song they said taken down called 7 Minute Thrill, and he went at Kendrick in the song. And then he took it down, and a lot of people clowned him for it, but it's something that even, I'm not being a revisionist here. I said this when it happened. I was like, I respect the fact that he took it down. Because it's not something he really wanted to do. And the internet is all gas, no brakes. The internet will get you to mess up your life. People you don't know are like, I would take that if I was you. What you gonna do? Huh? Do something, huh? People who are very safe at home, I would, if I was you, ooh, I go at his neck. I would, I'd eat him alive if I was you. Do something, Jermaine, do it. And so he took it down, and he even said, he's like, I didn't feel like doing it, so it's not even good. I kind of just went at him a little bit, and it's true. In the song, he doesn't even say anything that bad. He's just like, one of your albums was boring. I won't even say which one. And then he took it down because he said, I don't know, this felt corny. And I respected the hell out of that. Very few men,
all the way down.
Famous men, powerful men, very few ever apologize. Very few ever apologize without being made to, with the threat of losing their money, losing their fame, losing something. Very few men. So I respect that, and people clowned him to no end. But then the actual beef between Drake and Kendrick started, and that was a lot. Because Drake released a song called Push Ups, and he didn't just go with Kendrick, he went in a bunch of people, and implied that Kendrick's wife was unfaithful, that his son might not be his and everything. And people were like, ooh, what's Kendrick gonna do? What's gonna happen, right? And then, he releases another song, and this song is AI. This song is great. It's late Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and it's going to Kendrick. And some people have feelings about that. But then, on a random morning, it was right about the time I was supposed to say my prayers anyway. You know your morning prayers? Your thank you God for waking me up this morning, right? And Kendrick dropped a song called Euphoria. And I think when it happened, a lot of people, including me, was like, oh, this is an actual like rap beef now in the way that we had in the 90s. Like these dudes do not like each other. And Kendrick says he hates him in the song. He says, I hate you. He said it a lot. He said, I hate you a lot. Like, he did it artistically, but he was like, ooh, I hate you. Ooh, I hate you. Ooh, right? And, it was a lot, right? And then, you know, Drake released. Actually, no, Kendrick released one. He released so many, I actually lost count. So then he released a song that I didn't even get to fully digest because he released, and then Drake released his response. And this was like what Drake had been waiting for. This was like all these, I mean, in my opinion, all these years of like, I was like, everybody, including me, and all I'm doing is writing my feelings down in albums and making money. And like, I just want to be number one. I just want to be the best with feelings. I want to be the best. And so he just took everything that he had, and he put it in a song called Family Matters, right? And 20 minutes later, Kendrick released a song called Meet the Grams, which is was a real play off Family Matters. And he had said in 616 before, he was like, everyone thought about the fact that like people in your camp are working for me, that everyone hates you so much they feed me information about you, and that there's no way that you're gonna win this because I write so many songs. Because all I do is hang out with my wife and my kids and I write, right? This is all that I do. I enjoy this. This is my favorite thing to do, is just sit at home and hate you and write songs about you and how much I hate you. So I can go forever. This will never be over. We can chill. We can just go back and forth, and I'll release 20 for every one that you release. You keep saying that it's a 1v20, and it is. It's one of you, and it's 20 songs of me every single day until the both of us die. This is old black man hate. You gotta understand. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen with people under 60 almost ever. This is old. This is old. We knew each other during the civil rights movement hate that he brought to this battle. And Drake was like, guys, I thought we were rhyming.
Making waves, have 20 visitors in your park.
He laid it down and started the song. That's part of Drake's song. I'm sorry that's your father. Genuinely, I'm sorry that's your father, because I can tell he's not raising you well, because I can tell he's not living a good life. He's not a decent man, okay? And so if you don't understand this right now because you're 6, bring it back if you're 18, okay?
And let's start it up.
He said lots of things. He said things that are illegal. He said Drake was doing things that, you can listen to it. Yeah. Even at the end of the song, when he's like, he called him a liar several times, and he's like, you're lying. I was like, oh, that's too much. And he tells him about himself. He talks to his son, he talks to his dad, he talks to his mom, and he talks to him directly, right? He also talks to, potentially, a daughter that Drake is not taking care of. Which I was listening to, I was like, nah, I feel like once they find the first kid, you gotta just get all the kids. You gotta just have a whole grand family, just so you know where everybody is. Yes. People go back and forth. Does he have a daughter? Does he not have a daughter? Some people think maybe he found the daughter or everything like that. I don't know. I mean, it's really bad. It's so bad. And honestly, I never wanted it to get to a bad place. This is something I'll talk
so much stuff.
A deep love and relationship with hip hop, because if everything is in music, it's all good. It's when things leave music that things get bad, you know. And so as much as I joke about Drake, I like Kendrick, and I've liked some of Drake's songs, I don't actually want them to do anything to each other. You know what I mean? Now, if what Kendrick is saying about Drake is true, we should lie. Drake up. We should lock Drake up. And if what Drake is saying about Kendrick is true, we should lock Kendrick up, alright? Because, you know, it's a rap battle of two dudes that hate each other. Maybe they're lying. Who knows? But I'm just saying, this thing, I didn't want to see anything bad happen to either one of them. But when Meet the Grams got released, I don't know what Drake thinks, and I don't know what his life is like, especially right now. So I think back to those beefs in the 90s.
Start malfunctioning, behaving respectfully. Fix it quickly to restore normal operation and keep your part uncrucial.
I'd like to be shot, please.
See which one's malfunctioning.
Like, you could just plug me one time, and then we can smooth the thing over.
Shot.
Then, as if Meet the Grams wasn't enough, Kendrick released a song called Not Like Us, which is the catchiest way to call somebody I've ever heard in my life. You can dance to it forgetting what the song is about. Like, you know. And then Drake released The Heart Part 6. I think that's what he lost. Because in The Heart Part 6, it's like, this was all part of my plan. We fed you information about me for you to say, so everything that you said is wrong. And don't you feel dumb now that I tricked you? And it just kind of felt like, you know, like what a kid, okay, you know, like when you play rock, paper, scissors, and you do rock, and the kid does scissors, and they're like, no, actually, these are lasers. Because I was like, Drake, if it was part of your plan to feed Kendrick information about you for him to rap about very well, by the way, like even if those are lies, they do sound good and they sound very true. Even if you fed him all this information about you to rap about to then look dumb when it was wrong, why did you send him that stuff? That's the worst stuff you could send somebody. Hey, tell him this thing about me that's not true but was true once, and tell him I'm a thing that no one wants to be. So now that it's over, because I do hope it's over, I feel like it's been beautiful. It's been amazing to just walk around, see everything, meet people. This is, y'all are very chill. Like, I know it's a stereotype, but it's also happening, and it is just coming from someone who lives in New York. It is genuinely jarring. It's like, this is wonderful. Y'all even know physics. Everybody's so chill, which I understand is this place. This is an incredible place. It truly is. We're still on the planet Earth, so you know what I mean? Like a little disrespectful to not be sitting on a touch point. Yeah, I mean, it's charming, but only to a point. It's young movements. It is so beautiful, but also it sustains too. Oh, see, violent arts, volcanoes. Two volcanoes. Ones that do it. The ones that volcano are here. They are like, do you want to go see it? Because it might do it. Wouldn't it be crazy if it did it while we were there and we saw it do it? Yeah, it would be crazy. It would be insane. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good watching from the comfort of my TV. It's like, oh, you gotta go to witness. It's like, you don't have to be a witness to everything.
Spirits.
You could just hear a story.
Prepare 500 attractions.
Good volcano.
Nice. More reviews and more decorations included. More tips.
No one but no one.
What's
No
some
one.
tips?
Wow.
I made a
I've been
profit.
places where they were freaking out more.
Too good, it's too good.
See, I mean, like, I have friends in San Francisco. I have friends in San Francisco, and those friends in San Francisco, like, you know, any day now.
Yeah, I'm working with that's a very maintenance man right now.
We can just
Or
break
woman.
off, just snap like the twins. We can just. Alright, I mean, if you really thought that, why are you paying a mortgage? That's a little wild, right? That you think you're gonna slip into the ocean, but also, you gotta do something. It blows my mind. It's been so cool to be here. I had no idea what it would be like to see this many roosters roam free. Look, you're gonna have to be patient with me, alright? Because I didn't know. There's a lot I didn't know. This trip has been teaching me a lot I didn't know. I didn't know most things. So I get here and I see a rooster, but I'm like, oh, he probably got loose. Like, I hope somebody finds their rooster. I'm like, ooh, because I hate to see, you know what I mean? Like, I hate to see, like, a lost pet or animal companion just out in the wild like that. It was a walking on pavement, like it owned it. And then I heard, like, a rooster, and it wasn't. I really thought, this is how, I grew up with cartoons. I really thought they only made noise, like, in the morning. I was positive that was, like, the nature's alarm clock. I didn't know they were like dogs and they could just go whenever they wanted. So now I'm waking up at like, I'm not saying I'm doing this every time I wake up. I'm just saying, like, I wake up and because of the jet lag, I live in New York. So because of the jet lag, I'm waking up earlier, just naturally than I would otherwise. So I'm waking up, and then you might hear a rooster at the time that I wake up, which is very early. Like, the sun is not out yet, right? And then the sun is out, and then I'm walking around, and I hear a rooster again, and I'm like, that can't be right. I'm positive that's not right, because I know it's been all day today. And far be it from me, like, whenever an animal is very good at something, I try to just trust that. Like, I understand the groundhog thing, we kind of made that up, that's not exactly right, but I still check to see what the groundhog said, right? Because people used to go off of it. Now with the roosters seem completely unreliable. I understand this is the rooster's whole thing, but I will go ahead and start looking at myself. The way that y'all just don't even roosters and days to hang up. That's very upsetting. Why would you? I didn't know roosters were like rabbits. Like maybe just let two roosters hang out for too long, you get 8 roosters, and then 16, and then 64. And then no matter where you go, there's a rooster doing, I guess, nothing. I don't know what they do. 5 o'clock, I heard a rooster. Could he go? I've never seen it. No, don't do that. That's him guessing. He guessing right now. And then I realized I was completely off base. They don't just stop making noise because of the time of day. Wow. You learn something every day, you should already know. That's deeply embarrassing. It's been so beautiful. Every single person, but as a general state, it's laid back. The people I see freaking out, are not from here. Yeah, there are a lot of people. Like you could tell. You can tell who's like from here and not from here also by how there's a look. There's a look in the eyes of a person who like just got when somebody just got here, they seem like they could be from here because they're so excited to be here. When somebody just got here, they're like, and once again, just outside looking in, y'all do that too. Like y'all do have just even the locals I've met have been like, what a day. It's different look in their face, their eyes different. They finally got their visual from what I heard. The same mannerisms too. He's like, but it's been beautiful to just walk around and see so many people that know how to swim. That is. Swimming. Okay, swimming for me has been trial and error. It's been a trial of errors, and it's like whenever people don't want to believe that I don't fully believe that I can swim. I'll talk to people and they'll be like, yeah, but you could like swim and save your life though, right? And I'm like, I don't want to find out. I feel like that's one of the main reasons I stay on land is because I'm not sure. What a test to fail, and then now I know I can't swim. That's a crazy thing, but you could swim to save your life, right? Isn't that swimming? Isn't that the whole swimming? Whether you're swimming for fun or you're swimming to save your life, aren't you still the same amount of upright over the water? That's a crazy thing to ask somebody. Imagine somebody's on crutches. Someone's on crutches and you're like, yeah, but you can like run to save your life, right? It's like, maybe. Why would I want to find that out though? Why would I put myself in a running situation? Why would I on crutches walk up and slap a bigger man than me? Just to see if maybe, who knows? It might be like having 3 legs, having these crutches, and being on 1 foot. And then you see people surfing. I love watching people surf at home. When I'm at home, I'll watch any surf documentary. I love surfers. I think it's so cool. I love watching them do tricks. I love watching it. You could just be regular swim. One of the things I've had in the background before is just like a beachy waves like looping video for hours, and it was people just like whether they were swimming or surfing, they were all just around each other in the water. I personally, this is just a me thing. This is not a reflection on anybody else. I cannot watch it. Like I can't if I'm at the beach and I'm watching people surf, I'm like, how are they not running over every head they come across? Like when you're watching on TV and the camera is just on them, you're like, look at how coordinated they are. They're so cool. Look at them move, man. I wish my hips moved like that. But then when you're watching and you're like, well, there's somebody's head. Oh, they missed. Okay. I watched my friends. One time I went to a beach with my friends. My friends went swimming and they came back and they were like, you sure you don't want to get in? I was like, you keep asking me if I could swim to save my life, but then also ask me if I want to get in. I think I'm good. I'm good on the beach right here where it's level, where if I drown, it's my fault. But you're over there having a great time swimming. Yay, backstroke, everything. You didn't even see. There was a dude surfing around. You almost died 3 times. I saw it. He almost ran you right over. I don't even know how that would work. It doesn't even, like, here's the thing. It doesn't, I don't know how surfing works. You're about to find that out. But, like, it doesn't even seem that bad if you got, like, ran over by a surfboard in the water that was past you until you get to those 3 teeth in the back. Like, that seems like it would hurt. Like, because I'm not saying the board's going to hit them in the head. I'm just saying they're, like, coming up at the same time as somebody's passing, and everyone is so fluid with it. That's stressful. I know it's a gorgeous dance, but I'm watching this dude. Just one twist of his ankle, he could have taken out 2 people right there. So you see the big waves that people surf on, those huge waves that people surf on, and then they're coming down from the wave. I don't know why. Maybe I was never paying attention in the movies or in the competitions I watch on TV, but there's people in there. That's crazy. Why isn't that a sport? That seems like it should be a sport to get in the middle of the wave and not drown. You see these big waves, and then there's people surfing the wave, and then there's just a guy in the middle like. It's too much going with the slow. I'm already worried about slack water. If I got caught in a wave, I can't fathom. If I got caught in a wave and started shooting up, I already can't swim. I can't also drown up. Imagine 10-foot wave, you inside. Which way do you swim when you're up? If you're in the wave, if you're here, where are you supposed to go? You're not been caught in like an undertow getting sucked down. You are about to shoot up in the air. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Ooh, I'd be so embarrassed if I drowned. I don't even know if they let you into heaven. Because you would be explaining like, listen, I was in the water, all right? But then there was really sick waves. There was a guy on it, crushing it. But I was in the middle, and I was real high up in the air. I could actually see that I was, like, above land. But there was too much water in front of my face for me to take a breath. Maybe, if I had been snorkeling, I would have had that stick, and I could have leaned out and sucked some air. But alas, I was regular swimming. You can tell I'm not from here because I'm on the beach and I'm not having a beachy time like everybody else. I go to the beach, I don't get in the water. That already probably looks suspicious. That looks like I'm just there to watch, which is, people watching at the beach is like sweet unless you're doing nothing. Like if you also went to swim and now you're like, look at everybody having a good time on the beach, or if you were like building sandcastles and you're like, look at everybody, it was so beautiful. Or if you were surfing and then you take a break, look at everybody. But when you're me and you just went to go and you just standing on the beach dressed like this, I'm sure I look like a ghost from something. I'm sure. I probably look like the ghost to somebody out there surfing of like a hit and run they did or something. Because I don't know anybody out there. It's not like I'm late, but I'm just. Oh. I go to the beach exactly dressed like this, and it makes everybody uncomfortable. I'm sure they think I'm the police. Like, it's just. One time I went to the beach and I was just walking. I was truly minding my own business. I even stepped out of my comfort zone. I even took the shoes and socks off. I know you thought that I was doing that already, and I was not. Now, when I say dress like this, I mean fully. I mean like head to toe like this. And so I had taken my shoes and my socks off. I was walking, feeling the sand under my feet. I was like, man, I get what people are. Wow. It's nice. This is nice, they say. It's beautiful. It's all happening, right? And then as I take a step, all right, this wasn't my fault. This was not. You gonna judge me? And that's fine. I've accepted I'm gonna be judged, but this is not my fault. Okay, I'm walking, right? And then I feel something. Okay? I feel something, and it's not like glass. I didn't cut my foot. That would have been better. I was walking, and I feel something. I take a step, and I feel something, and I realize I can't take another step. I feel it around my ankle, and I can't take another step. And somebody had buried themselves in the sand and then grabbed my ankle, right? And grabbed my ankle, right? And so and grabbed it good too. Like they. This is crazy. The most Mad Max thing I've ever seen in my life. Arm buried in the sand, but then grabbed my ankle, and I turn around and I see a hand and nothing else. And so I'm like, oh. I scream, right? I scream, okay? And so I'm walking, grab my ankle, I stop, I look, I scream. All of this very reasonable so far, right? All of this is on the other person. Okay, so then I try to pull away. I can't because no quad string, I don't know, but like I can't pull away like I want to. And so then as I try to pull away, I try to pull away twice, and this is still out of panic. I still don't even know what's happening really. I just know that there's a hand around my ankle and there's nothing else, right? And then I finally turn around and see the hand and keep screaming. So I screamed for too long now, right? Like I should have processed what was happening. So then, out of fear, I start stomping the hand off my other foot, right? So it's right here, and right? So I stomp a while. Now, to be fair to me, they did hold on, all right? So then I'm stomping. Then they sit up, right? They did sit up, which should have clued me into exactly what was happening, but in the moment only did terrify me more. So then I went from stomping the hand, and I did kick them in the head. Okay.
I remember I didn't hire somebody. I'm supposed to hire somebody.
I did kick them in the head, and then I ran, right? And I I ran, and while I was running,
Don't you get
when
in
I
this
was
pool.
processing,
Don't you get in this pool. Don't you get in the
you
eat
probably
dumbass.
not a zombie.
Because you're stupid.
A zombie's hand wouldn't have had more body attached to it. A zombie probably wouldn't have sat up and been a whole person that I kicked. Also, wild to a stranger. If it had been my friend, they still would have got their hands stopped, right? That was anybody. But then when they sat up and I was like, more? No. So I like the beach. I like it for all of you. I like the beach for everyone who likes going to the beach. And I'll go to the beach and I'll watch that fun where it ends for me. Never taking my shoes off again at the beach.
And more good than bad.
But you'll get sand in your shoes.
I made a big profit.
Yeah. Or I could take them off and get hands on my feet. What would you rather? If someone truly came to you and they were like, listen, you could have one random claw on your ankle and foot, or you could have some sand in your shoe, I think you take the sand every time. No. Oof. I have friends that love to swim, and I'm happy for them. I'm very happy for it. It looks fun when they do it. Sometimes I'll go snorkeling. That's when you, I don't know, almost drown, kind of. I don't even fully understand snorkeling because, you got the tube. But you're not sucking any air. It's not scuba diving. You got the tube, but then what's the tube for? Because you're just going to exhale. You could have just done that through your mouth.
Yeah, how do I get them?
I don't know how to do it. I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm positive I'm wrong, but I'm saying when I saw it, when they went under, I was like, you don't need that around your mouth. I hope you don't suck in, because that's going to be water. That's wild. That maybe you don't want any bubbles in your face? Is that why you brought the thing down to up the side? Are you trying to convince the fish you're a fish? Is that the plan? No, if they see me breathing out of my mouth all human-like, they'll swim away. I want them to like me. I got friends that'll go scuba dive. Scuba diving looks very fun. That's when you try to drown. That's where you're like, I bet I can get lower. I bet I can get so low that even the water pressure is kind of affecting me.
Yes.
I didn't even know this. People who go that deep scuba dive, people who do the real deep stuff that look like it's from Mission Impossible. You know that stuff that's like an action movie where they're like, you're gonna have to go deeper than anyone's gone before to see this particular fish. And they go down that deep and then they come up, then they gotta get in like a tank so that they don't explode. I don't know how some people create a definition of fun. I've never been almost about to explode ever. And I've had a pretty great life. The idea you would go down so deep that now you had a tank. Tank was on you. Then you went down. Now you come back up and they're like, you need to get in a tank immediately. Which I believe these people are experts, but in my head I'm like, but if they came up, aren't they good? You would think, I don't know, it's like you're already up here. So just don't take a deep breath, I guess. Just do some little ones. But then they got to get in a tank so that they level out, so that they can walk around again in not the ocean. Scuba diving just seems wild to me. Because then you got the tank, and then they tell you how much air is in the tank, and you just got to believe them. Nobody's ever been wrong. A tank's never been, because they'll be like, no, it's also on the tank. And I'm like, yeah, but you ever in a car And it says it's not on E, but then it does stop.
Right.
And you're like, oh, this needle isn't as precise as I thought it was. Which is upsetting for a needle. You would think as soon as it hits some people, I've been in some people's cars, especially those old cars too, where like the needle hitting the E, I would even say it. I'd be like driving with my dad, right? My dad would be picking me up from school or something, and I'd be like, oh, it's on E, just so you know. And he'd say, no, we good. And I would say, Father, I know I'm 7, but from what I've heard, I know I'm not a driver. I'm not a driver. From what I've heard, E means empty. It looks like we're very close to empty and we're not already at home. No, we're good. We're good. It's gotta go past the needle to really be out. Just because it's touching the E doesn't mean we're at E. It gotta go past the E, and then that's E. I'm like, oh, then why didn't they put the E there? Seems odd that they put the E nowhere near where the E is. It's like, it's just the way cars made, son. I was like, Dad, look, I know I'm little, but I can handle it. You can tell me right now if we're poor, all right? That logic doesn't make sense at all. No, it's on E, but it's like not on E. I'm like, what are you saving up for? Because you see people. I'm sure y'all see people all over Midwest, Northeast, the South, the western parts of the country. All these people, all these people, freaking out, freaking out, and not without reason. You saw leading up to the election, eggs are $12. We had no idea. We had no idea. For everything that we complain about, things are like twice as expensive for y'all. Wow. How are y'all not complaining every day? I can't believe that doesn't make you angry to see someone from Indianapolis be like, the apple juice was $6 before and it's $8 today. That doesn't seem fair or right. Meanwhile, here it's $22. And not only is it $22, there's one jug. Like even when you got the money, you got to make sure you get there first. And still, how? And still, y'all like, with enough time, with enough patience, with enough elbow grease, you'll make your own apple juice. You just gotta. Sometimes when I'm upset, sometimes when life is getting me down, something really grinds my gears, I just try to take it out and try to exercise it in a productive way. You know what I mean? So whenever I'm really angry, I'll get something. I'll just like grind something down, right? Just grind it down over and over again. And then I started to do that with the apples, and then I made apple juice, and now I'm fine. What? No, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah, this is wow. I know I'm still on planet Earth, but whoa. I mean? It does feel like, and I'm really not saying this in a way that is just trying to like butter you up or anything, but this does feel like a different dimension because the 7-Eleven is like nice. You need to understand. Like, even though you're clapping and you're cheering, I don't even think you understand what you're clapping and cheering for. The 7-Eleven being nice The 7-Eleven being nice is like it's like if you turned the AR-15 into bubbles. It's like, what? First of all, how? Second, this is not what this is supposed to do. This is just 7-Eleven. I can tell you right now, in every other part of America, the back of 7-Eleven specifically is for drug use. And look, maybe that's happening here, and everybody just has a real good attitude about it. I have no idea. But the 7-Eleven,
Still don't know how
the
to hire
7-Eleven
anybody.
in New York. Okay, so look, the 7-Eleven in New York.
How do I hire
There was
people?
one, this just is an example of how bad it can get, right? There are some places where people who are in any way sort of down and out, unfortunate, truly having like a rough go of everything, will try to find some way. They need some money. They need something, right? And so they will hang out outside of 7-Eleven. And one of the things that some people do, especially in New York, is they will hold the door open for you when you go in. They'll open the door for you when you walk out, right? All in the hope that maybe if you have spare change or if you could get them something, that you will give them something for that thing. Let me try to do you this small service in return for something, right? Because they don't have anything, you know? And that's something that's like common practice in New York at plenty of places. In 7-Eleven that I went into in New York, I saw a guy. He was standing in front of the door. He had his hand on the door handle, and I like nodded at him. I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then I went to walk into the 7-Eleven, and I hit the door. I hit the door because this man wasn't opening it for people. He was charging people to get in. Which is frankly a better business model. That is pretty good. You go into a 7-Eleven. You go into a 7-Eleven in New York City. Let's say they just mopped. Let's say the best of circumstances, they just mopped, right? There's a wet floor sign, but what's that gonna do? What's that really gonna do? They just put those out so they don't get sued. What is that really meant to do? It's a wet floor sign over there. I walked in, it's wet right here. And if you slip in a 7-Eleven, if you slip in a 7-Eleven in New York City, you have to burn whatever part of you fell. Because I know they mopped, but they didn't mop to clean it. They mopped to move around whatever was the reason for mopping in the first place. So if you walk in and you see that wet floor sign all the way over there, you don't know that means the entire floor, everything in here is wet now, and you walk, whoa, and then you slip, and then you fall on your back. You will want to die. Walk into a 7-Eleven here. People smile. I know this is common for you. I know that you don't understand what the difference is. I want you to imagine, goodness forbid, let's imagine that you went to jail. And when you got there, everybody smiled. Based on your understanding of jail, that would make you more comfortable. Based on what you think about jail, if you walked in and everybody smiled at you specifically, you would think, uh-oh. And so forgive me if being conditioned by New York City 7-Elevens, walking into a 7-Eleven here and seeing people smile, I don't return it right away. I'm shocked. I'm suspicious.
There we go. So I'm like, how y'all not telling me how to hire the people? Telling me I can hire the people, but you're not telling me how to hire the people. Now we're about to get some maintenance people. We're about to get somebody to get the tickets. I'm gonna run around and make sure everything else is straight. Yeah, it's about to be real good.
Because they're not. There's not.
You have to pay them daily, but they keep the park running smoothly most of the time. Sometimes staff take breaks, and when they do, their work simply stops. Keep an eye on them. Okay. Absolutely love that. Let's hire some people.
No, people smile at you at 7-Eleven, and they aren't even saying anything
But I
through their
fixed
teeth.
it, didn't
It's a genuine smile. It's a silent. You say welcome. You say hello. A smile at a 7-Eleven in New York.
do not want to
Call somebody.
I think I'm doing pretty good.
It's one with a gun. But I think the other two in on it. Hurry. Not just a nice 7-Eleven with nice people. You got different stuff, which is unfair. You got whole flavors. You got whole flavors I can't pronounce. You go into a 7-Eleven here, and you gotta understand. I've only been to the 7-Elevens I've been to, so. Sorry that I'm uncultured. Everything at the 7-Eleven I'm used to is not like that. You get in there.
Sidekick. Hire your first staff.
Holopia.
Look at these tickets.
Hopia. You go to a 7-Eleven and you get a Hopia.
I can hire more than one.
Slurpee. I saw the letters. And I was like,
am I crazy or what?
I didn't even say it right just now.
You are expensive.
Leaking. These are flavors I'm not used to.
I guess I can only hire one person.
These flavors that come out.
I think that's the right person.
I'm used to going to 7-Eleven and getting some of the most dystopian Mountain Dew type flavors you've ever heard in your life. Just a color to a thing that doesn't exist the way that it says in the flavor. You go to 7-Eleven in New York, you get like I don't know, black elephant Slurpee or something like that. Just something that just sounds wrong. The whole time you pulling it, the machine doesn't even want to let it out right away. You pull that thing, and the machine is like. And then after a while, you hold it open long enough, and the thing is spinning. Finally, the machine is like, if you insist. And when it hit the cup, it doesn't sound right. When it hit the cup, you're like, something hard inside, something soft. I know sounds. This is not all liquid. Not even all ice. Something, then y'all can put 3 rocks and 4 paper clips in here. I can tell from the way it's falling, because it falls with no integrity. It falls with no real consistency
Now
at all.
it's Queen 500 attractions.
How? McDonald's is good here. How'd you pull that off? Same company. It's one company. That's crazy. That's crazy. They would bring all the good
Guess we're
McDonald's
good to
here,
go.
and they would make us eat slop everywhere else. McDonald's in New York City is where you do heroin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean the back like a 7-Eleven. I mean in the restaurant portion of the McDonald's.
Yeah,
I
go
mean
hot dogs.
you
Okay.
order your Big Mac, and then you sit down
Let's
at
go.
your table
Got
to
a
do your
worker,
heroin.
the whole nine. I gotta pay this bitch today.
The Big
Oh, I
Mac
did
is
already.
just a formality.
Well, she better have shit fixed. What's going on here?
Crazy.
Running a place like this ain't cheap, huh? Repair staff, angry customers. If you need money, I have plenty of it. Take these $750, not contract and paperwork just between us businessmen.
To McDonald's, so we went into a McDonald's.
Pride doesn't pay bills, buddy. See you later. Yeah, I'm not getting caught up with your shit, bro. We owing you.
With ice cream on it. You would think
I don't even know you.
the devil could get involved. It's one ice cream. It's ice cream. It's ice cream with a cone. It's simple. We've seen it a million times.
How you fixing shit?
It's
I
not,
literally fixed
it's
the
not
entire part.
revolutionary. And they handed her ice cream with a cone. And before she could even take a bite, she felt something. And she turned the cone, and there was a Band-Aid.
Disgusting.
Unless we're having a nightmare, how? You just have them in the back ready to go? In case anybody thought they were going to enjoy McDonald's in New York City? This is crazy. I just want to let y'all know the planet y'all live on. Because nothing, yeah, wow, nothing seems to get to you. Not like fundamentally, not like really. I'm stressed out for y'all sometimes. I don't even live here. But I remember 2017. I remember in 2017 when that fake missile thing. It's still a place. If this happened in New York City, real estate prices would have dropped because we'd all be dead. Everyone would have. That's crazy. Imagine what's even said in those moments. You get that text, finally turn your spouse, you're like, it really hadn't been right between us for a long time. And I want to get that out there because I don't want to die with anything on my heart. And then 15 minutes later, you're sitting there. Look, everybody said stuff. Everybody said something that they meant but didn't mean if we were going to live. I can't imagine getting that message at work. You at work. You might not even like it here. You at work, and then you get the false alarm. You get the, hey, no, you're actually good. Hey, somebody press the wrong button. That blows my mind. That's how I can tell y'all are actually really good people. The fact that thing happened and so many bosses went unpunched. Y'all were gonna die. And nobody punched their boss right in the nose. Nobody. This is it. The other message didn't go out right away. People thought we were gonna die for like 8 minutes or something. And that's if you looked again. That's like if you checked.
Yep.
You know, some people reacted the way I would react. There were some people that like found manhole, jumped in. Alright, okay. Yeah, you jumped in. There's some sewage, it's stinky. But you would have lived. You would have, you know what I mean? You would have lived. You know? Then there's other people that, wow. I'm not judging. But truly no initiative. Like, truly, I heard stories from people that were like, yeah, it went off and I just finished my TV dinner. And you just kept eating TV dinner that you weren't enjoying. They were like, yeah, I'd rather die sold. And then the fact that, like, there wasn't like a riot. The fact that there wasn't a riot over the person who pressed the button. The message went out, hey, sorry, we pressed the wrong button. And then as a state, y'all were like, stuff happens. It's not like that big a deal. I don't know why everybody's stressing out. Yeah, buttons are confusing. Sometimes I press the wrong button. It's not that big of a deal. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I just have to call a divorce lawyer and hold everybody to what they said. Wow. That's just not me. That's not me at all. I was in an elevator for too long one time. I told a stranger, I was like, listen, I want you to call this number. This is my mama, all right? In case I don't make it out, I want you to you're stuck between floors 1 and 2. Who knows though? That drop could have shook me up. No, but I'm amazed. I think, man, I look around and I'm just blown away. You know, it's there's something very special about being here, which is a reminder that obviously there's more of a commercial presence than there was probably like 10 years ago, especially more than there was 30 years ago and everything. But really, when you get here, everything that is so beautiful just requires nothing. It just requires you to be present. There's no, when you look around, there's no amount of money that makes this thing happen. This is just what we've already been given, you know, and especially when you see it in people who appreciate it. It's a reminder that, like, you know, money can buy a comfortable life. It can't buy a good one. You know, like, I look around. I look around and try to watch as best as I can and try to be observant. So I know that there's problems and there's people who are struggling and everything. But everything that makes this place special, everything that makes the people special, everything that makes the experiences here unique are things that cannot be bought under any circumstance. You could pay for a nice room somewhere. You could pay for like a private cabana. You could do all that stuff. Like the actual sunset, the actual sunrise, the people that you meet if you go out and you talk to people. The sort of way of thinking. That entire lifestyle costs nothing. It only requires that you be here, that you be present for it, you know. Every beautiful thing, every unconventional thing. It's like there's nothing you can take away from it. No matter how much money you acquire, there's nothing that can prepare you for like the natural beauty, not just of a place, but of a people and all the things that surprise you when you're really present somewhere, you know? Like the fact that the rooster's just gonna go whenever. It's like, that's insane. It's insane because I think people come here and they think that it works the way it works in other places. There are places you can go all over the US. There are places you can go all over the world where that place is as good to be in as the amount of money grabs. You know, you can travel all around the world. I can show you a terrible time in a city. I can show you a great time in a city based on what you can afford. Right? And you come here and it's already here. That blows my mind, you know. That's why I think so many people come here, right? So many people come here with a sort of expectation because maybe they've already spent the money, maybe they've already dropped crazy money. Huge Hawaiian experience. They're gonna have their minds blown. They're gonna see so many beautiful sights and everything, and then they get here and they see how much of it was just already here. It's just in the people. It's just in the routes you take to get somewhere. It's just in noticing, you know? And then they leave. And that's why when they leave, they're like, I could have done this for, oh no. What did I do? Oh, bad. I got invited to a friend's house. And he had cooked for me and some of his other friends. And when I say cooked, I mean like, he went all out. It was about 6 of us all together, right? But this is like multi-course, 5 hours of preparation, been cooking all day type thing. So by the time we get there, there's a whole spread across the table. There's stuff that he's pulling out of the oven. And we were touched that our friend wanted to do this for us, right? Took his own money, used the skills that he had to make good food, to have a good experience, have a good meal with us, right? And so, you know, we sit down and we sort of like half plated already, you know, when we sit down. And as soon as we get ready to eat, I guess he didn't pay his light bill because as soon as we get ready to leave, the lights go out, right? And we were, when I say we're skinny, I'm talking about napkin and everything, chair all brought up and stuff, and then the lights pop off, right? And then he doesn't mention it at all. I'm scooting my chair up and the lights go out, and he doesn't even go, oop, like nothing. He just, y'all, let's eat. And it is pitch black, okay? And in my head, I'm like, what? How often does this happen that you're not going to say anything at all? Not acknowledge it one bit. And so then, like, I'm sitting in the dark, and I'm looking around. I can't see anybody, but I'm looking around. You know the way you try to meet eyes when when something wild happens and everything? And then, after like a couple seconds, he was like, wait. And to hear why, maybe it's a break.
Sweet dreams. Clean 500 trash in your park.
And he's like, wait. Let's say grace. To be fair, when I say grace, I bow my head and close my eyes anyway, but it's different when the darkness is not your choice, right? There's something about saying grace in the dark that is genuinely menacing, okay? Because it's a prayer over your meal. If it's pitch black and you hear somebody else go, Lord, please bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies. You're like, this one doesn't sound right. I don't like that.
More stuff. The more satisfied. We've had a couple of guests.
A lot because not only does he not
it's looking a little better, but
he is going with his full.
We'll see it tomorrow.
He's the only one out of us that's got any written on with the plate, okay? Because he chose the right friends to do this in front of, because he doesn't mention it, so we don't want to mention it because we don't want to feel rude, you know? We out here treating growth like a country, like I wouldn't want to offend his culture, you know what I'm saying? Like, if even in the dark is part of his customs, let's go ahead and acquiesce. And so we're all in the dark. I could have sworn I knew how to use a fork and knife. I was positive because I've been doing it my entire life. But it's not until you're in the dark that you realize, at least me, I have no idea where my mouth is. Because we already had some peas and carrots and some mashed potatoes on the plate, right? But like I said, this is all Thanksgiving style and everything, all family style. So a lot of the dishes are in other containers on the table. So I'm just trying to start with what I have. So then I go to scoop up some mashed potatoes, and then I stab myself in the cheek, right? So. And he had done a good job with the mashed potatoes because they were nice and buttery, which meant I couldn't tell if I was bleeding or not because because I hit it hard. I got two prongs in the mouth and two prongs on the cheek, but I'm like, that got me good. I need to slow down, right? Because you're not really thinking about how fast your hand is moving when you try to eat. So now I'm like, let me go ahead and attack the peas, but the peas. I can't find my spoon, right? So the peas are going to have to go with this fork, and they are slipping. I'm imagining they're going right off the plate. And so I'm trying to stab for some peas, but everybody can hear me just clinking, just hitting plate, right? And finally, I feel a little thump. That's a carrot. So then I lift up slowly. I bite a carrot. It's hard because he didn't actually cook everything well, just the mashed potatoes. Oh, shit. So now I'm eating bad food in the dark, right? Because every time I do get a bite of something, the food is still hot because he did a good job of plating, right? So there was a little bit of little chicken thigh that was already on the plate and stuff. So I cut that up a little bit, put the chicken in my mouth. But now I didn't realize how hot it would be because I couldn't see steam, right? So now I have burned my tongue in the moment, and I'm doing that. And I'm not the only one because he is the only one hitting any of this with rhythm. You know what I mean? Like his fork, you can tell his fork slicing where it's supposed to slice, that he's scooping where he's supposed to scoop and everything. And everybody else, I'm assuming, is just making noise because there are some, I don't hear any chewing. So I feel like the person next to me was just like, because the meat was tough, right? And so then, like I said, it was like Thanksgiving family style and stuff. So then our host pops up. It's like, I forgot some of the cranberry sauce. Let me go up and get it. And for as adept, okay, he gets up and all we hear is, ow. I'm back. And so I know that I'm making an attempt to eat. I'm doing my best, right? But then apparently someone else is because from the other side of the table, I can hear someone, because once again, it's family style. I hear somebody, hey, sheepishly, you don't need to whisper, it's just dark. Real quick, okay. Sorry. Did somebody pass the green beans? And so then the person who thought they had the green beans starts feeling for the container, right? So now we hear them plopping along the table and everything. And then they finally grab it, and then they from over here, who wanted it again? And instead of just saying their name, they're like, over here. So then we to get the green beans across the table, Marco Polo style. And I could feel people passing it past me, but I didn't want to be involved, right? I didn't want to have anything to do with this whatsoever. And so then I could see, no, I can't see anything, but like I can tell that the person to my left is trying to reach for it from the person from my right. And so I'm like, I don't need to help. I just need to lean back. But because they can't see, they lean forward and just grab my face. And then they're like, is this it? I'm like, no, it's not. And so I pushed that hand forward. They actually grabbed, I'm assuming, the casserole platter. And then I think they dropped it a little bit because then I feel a hot splash, right? So I get a hot splash, boom, right on the face. And I'm just like, oh, oh. They get the green beans over to that side of the table. Turns out it was yams. Okay? So, and when you go to take what you think is going to be green beans and it's yams, it's a texture you'll never forget, right? No one was ready. And so once I get like hot splash, because it was whatever it was, it burned a little. I was ready to go, and it had been some time. You know what I mean? Like most meals only take 15, 20 minutes to really eat until you get full anyway. And it had been however long it had been, I don't know. And so I'm ready to go, but I don't want to be the first one. So then I try to.
Yeah, bitch, I'm crazy.
I'm not good at it, but I try
to about our papers.
Little people like, well, this has been so great. And obviously everybody felt the same way because then as soon as I scoop my chair, get back, everybody else get ready to get up, right? And so we all start getting up and we thank him for cooking and everything, and then we feel our way for the door. And as soon as we open the door, a bunch of hallway lights fills in. I'm like, why didn't we just... This was wholly unnecessary. And so I go to leave, and as I'm leaving, I pass a mirror in his lobby, which is the first look I get of my face. I haven't looked like this after I've eaten since I was a baby, all right? Because I got mashed potatoes here. I knew about those, right? But then I got a little bit of like chicken right here, just a couple of strands of chicken. And then this was gravy. So I got splashed with hot gravy coming down my face. That's why I vet people now. Like now when people offer to have me over and cook, I ask some of their friends, I'm like, hey, have you been over there before? Are they a good cook? Do the lights stay on? Things that you just need to know before you go. You know, it's a really, really beautiful thing. Black women are having an incredible summer. This is phenomenal, right? Like, just in the Olympics, Lauren Scruggs is the first black woman to win an individual medal in fencing. And not only do I just love seeing black people succeed, I love seeing black people succeed at stuff I didn't know we did. So if you don't know what fencing is, because I didn't know, it was basically when people play Bridgerton, all right? Okay, so it's a mix of stuff. So like, you know when people go in a padded cell, right? They do that, but they wear the cell, okay? So they go ahead and wrap themselves in like a padded cell and stuff, and then they get that stance, right? They get that long stance, and then they got their little sword, it's thing, and then they sort of try to musketeers each other until one of them get the most points, right? I still haven't figured out why they always do it. To me, it would just make more sense to have like that seems like you really get some points just really coming at somebody, right? And I thought, as I thought about more and as I learned more about the sport, which I still don't know very much, I thought to myself, man, I probably could have been pretty good at fencing if I had applied myself, because I grew up in the South with my grandma. So I'm used to the sound of it. So my grandma and I had this thing, right? Like if I was really acting up, if I was bad enough, right? She would tell me, go outside, there's a dead bush.
Yeah.
You go ahead and pick your switch. And if you don't know what picking the switch is, if you were born after Child Protective Services,
Okay.
your switch was a form, after you've been acted up and go out there and pick your switch, it was a form of psychological torture because you would get out there and then you try to pick the switch most likely to break. Because you're like, all right, let me see. I'll let her get through it. And she'll be like, let bygones be bygones, right? And so you go out there, and I would go out there and test them. I'd be like, I got too much bend to it. And so then you bring your switch back to your grandma. And then she go to pop it a couple times, and just out of reflex, you start. It's hot, right? I think if my grandma had whooped me just a few more times, I really could have been a medalist in fencing. Like, I could have done. And then, Lauren is amazing, but you also have Simone Biles. The most decorated gymnast of all time. She won again today. I thought they were done. She won with the vault. A lot of people are amazed at how high, how elegantly, just the way that she moves.
Trophy.
Strength that she
Chickens
has,
got
the grace,
100 visitors so far in
stuff
photos.
like that.
That's not good.
And some people are surprised at how high she can go and all that stuff. I'm not at all. I'm surprised that she comes back down to
One
earth.
person. Need to hire more staff.
I saw just a picture of her doing the vault, and when she flew, I was like, y'all, she gone.
Yeah.
She going to space.
That's cool.
Incredible play. Simone will get me so hyped. I remember the first time I saw her. First time I ever saw her perform at all in one of her events, and I got so hyped. I tried to do a cartwheel. That's why I can't stand with people that are good at stuff that make it look easy, and then you do it, and then you almost sleep your whole spine. But she did something where she was like, boom, 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 and she was just everywhere and nowhere at the same time. She was flying, she was coming down, and then she got done, and I was like, yeah, so cool. And then back hit the wall, started sliding down. Even outside of Olympics, you got Kamala Harris. Joe Biden steps aside, Kamala takes up the mantle. She is a presidential candidate and everything. And, you know, when she enters the race, she's actually polling slightly higher than Biden was, right?
I'm trying to get
really
through
like giving Trump a
everything.
run for his money to a certain degree. Like, she's polling a little bit higher. And then in the time since, she's been polling, picking up, and everything. And there's just been so many instances of like let's say she's on camera or something. This happened a few days ago. She was walking up the stairs already. An improvement, right? She was walking up the stairs to the plane that was waiting for her, and a reporter yelled, right? A reporter was like, oh, no, like trying to answer, get her to answer a question. And she turned, because she heard him. She turned. She turned because she heard him, right?
What the hell?
Like, and she
What the hell?
no, not yet. And then she keeps walking up. Now, this may not be a big deal to some, but if you are a Democrat, it's a lot more multitasking than we've been used to in a long time. She can walk, she can hear, and she can talk at the same time. That's wild. I'm not saying it's new, but it's been a minute. And just when it felt like her campaign couldn't get any more momentum, Trump went to the National Association of Black Journalists.
You need somebody to clean the park.
And I want to say something real quick, and I really want you to hear me when I say this. All right? For real. Please. Right? Please hear me when I say this. I think that it's important, no matter who you are, because other countries are better at doing this than we are sometimes. No matter who you are, I think it's important for someone to go where most people oppose them and express their ideas. I think it's important because it's important for us to have discussions that are real. A discussion where the person who believes the thing said the thing to you, and you're not hearing it secondhand from someone you already agree with. Part of why we are the way we are right now is that people don't really want to listen to someone that they are diametrically opposed to. They want to hear from someone they already like, but someone you already like tends to believe what you believe. So then we're playing telephone with each other's ideas sometimes, right? And so I do think that it was good what he did. He went to a place where he was not going to be lauded over, was not going to be like babied with what he's trying to say. He went to a place where he was opposed. I think it's good what he did. He just shouldn't have done this. Do you see what I mean? You know what I mean? Because he went to the...
Oh, my controller is blowing out.
Black girls. And then I think a lot of people didn't really talk about this, but they were opposed within the group if he should come or not. There were some people that were like, we shouldn't platform him. I can't believe y'all are even invite him. And there were other people that said, hey, look, he's a presidential candidate. We need to hear out whatever it is he has to say because he could potentially become the president.
First,
so
they just had to get stuff.
Ideas bouncing back off of each other, bumping heads. And then you had me. I was in a very particular camp, which was...
We're getting there. Decoration needs improvement. Yeah, I agree. Some attractions are dirty, assessment disgusting.
You know, this dude rolls up and pretty early on, I'd say first 3 minutes, this dude said she was Indian, and then one day she just turned black. He said turned black. I was like... What else you got? That's a...
A
while later, he hit it. I didn't know if it would come up again. I've been waiting. He hit it. He was like, the immigrants are coming, and they are taking the black jobs. I've been wondering what a black job
right. Like, how specific? The black jobs.
Or anything. Black jobs. And then one of the women up there, because it was 3 women interviewing him. 3 black journalists were interviewing him. And one was like, sir, what is a black job? And then he was like,
Yep.
a job anybody could have.
Yep. The baby up there turning Super Saiyan.
You know, and look, I don't know if I don't know anybody on her campaign or anything, but I know that they had to be watching. They had to be watching that the way that we watch Power.
But about to give me my money back.
Just sitting there like, say turn black again. Say turn black.
Just like this.
Turn black one more time. Please, please, please. Turn black. Turn black. I'll be happy with a Negro. Can we get a Negro?
Turn
black or Negro, please.
Yeah, let's start back from here. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know you were here. See you in 2 seconds.